What if I told you that within just a few hours, multiple countries across the Middle East were hit so precisely and so aggressively that even global intelligence agencies are struggling to understand who is truly in control of this escalating war? And what's even more terrifying is that the attacks you're about to hear about are not random. They follow a chilling pattern that could drag the entire world into a conflict no one is prepared for. Because right now, something much bigger than just Iran versus America is unfolding, and almost no one is talking about the real strategy behind it. Honorable Sir, Bahrain's oil refinery, owned by a major company, was suddenly attacked in a way that left massive destruction. And what makes this even more shocking is that just hours before this, Kuwait's refinery was also targeted in a similar fashion. And here's where things start getting dangerously interesting. Because these attacks were not isolated incidents, they were part of a coordinated response that Iran had already warned about long ago. Iran had clearly stated that if their infrastructure was attacked, they would respond by targeting similar facilities across the region. And now we are seeing that warning turn into reality in real time. Not just Bahrain and Kuwait, but reports are also coming in that water plants and power facilities were hit, creating a chain reaction of instability that could cripple entire economies. If you think this is where it stops, then you're missing the most critical part of this story. Because Abu Dhabi's petrochemical facilities have also reportedly been targeted, signaling that no location is truly safe anymore. This is no longer retaliation. This is a message that says every attack will be mirrored with equal or greater force, and that changes everything. Meanwhile, Saudi Arabia is claiming that it intercepted Iranian missiles, but the real question is, can these claims actually be trusted, or are they buying time before the truth comes out days later? Because history has shown us that initial statements in war often hide the real damage, and what looks like control today can turn into chaos tomorrow. And just when you think the situation couldn't get worse, a missile reportedly struck an Israeli factory in Haifa, opening yet another front in this already explosive conflict. But here's the twist that most people are ignoring. France 24 reported that the United States is launching attacks on Iran using bases in Kuwait, which explains why Iran is directly targeting Kuwait in response. This means the battlefield is no longer limited to two countries. It is spreading across regions, alliances, and strategic locations that affect global stability. And now comes a detail that could shock you even more. The World Health Organization has warned that attacks on Iran's nuclear facilities could potentially trigger radiation leaks. Just imagine that for a second, a regional conflict suddenly turning into a nuclear disaster that affects millions beyond borders. And while all this is happening, Iran has reportedly destroyed an Israeli drone factory completely, leaving nothing behind, proving that their offensive capabilities are far from weakened. But the story doesn't stop there, because inside Iran, tensions are also rising, with arrests, executions, and internal crackdowns showing that the pressure is not just external but internal as well. At the same time, Europe is feeling the heat, too, with reports of jet fuel shortages in countries like Italy pushing airlines toward potential shutdowns. And here's where things take an even darker turn, because behind all these events, global leaders are making moves that could either stop this war or ignite something far worse. Iran's foreign minister has directly blamed the United States for everything happening in the region, while multiple countries are now getting involved in urgent diplomatic talks. But what Donald Trump said next has added fuel to an already raging fire. He openly threatened to destroy Iran's critical infrastructure, including power plants and bridges, if a deal was not reached immediately. And this is where the real tension begins. Because Iran is refusing to back down, rejecting pressure, and continuing its strategic operations. Trump even admitted in an interview that weapons were sent into Iran through proxies, exposing a layer of the conflict that many suspected, but few confirmed publicly. And just when the situation seemed uncontrollable, reports emerged that the United States lost multiple aircraft, including helicopters and drones, during operations. Not one or two, but several high-value assets worth hundreds of millions of dollars were either destroyed or abandoned. And here's the part that raises serious questions. America claims they destroyed some of their own equipment, but does that really make sense in a war scenario? Meanwhile, videos from the ground show local reactions, celebrations, and claims that American forces were forced to retreat under pressure. And if that wasn't enough, China has stepped in, stating that critical trade routes like the Strait of Oman may remain closed until a ceasefire is reached. That single move alone has the potential to disrupt global oil supply chains and send shockwaves through the world economy. So now ask yourself this: is this still a regional conflict, or are we witnessing the early stages of something much bigger? Because every new attack, every new statement, and every new response is raising the stakes higher than before. And the most dangerous part is that no side is showing signs of stepping back. Instead, each move seems more calculated, more aggressive, and more risky than the last. So what happens next? Does this spiral into a global war, or is there still a chance to stop it before it's too late? Because what you're seeing right now may just be the beginning of a conflict that history will remember for decades. And trust me, the next phase of the situation could be even more shocking than anything we've discussed so far. So if you found this breakdown eye-opening and you want to stay ahead of what's really happening behind the headlines, then make sure to like this video, share it with others, comment your opinion on who you think is actually winning this hidden war, and don't forget to subscribe to Market Mindset 2, because the next update might reveal something the world isn't ready for.